Right, we're back with the Mokhul Empire. This is actually episode 21. We've been doing this for like nearly 5 months now, like over 5 months. So we're into the 20s now, which is great. It's been a great story so far. Anyone want to do the catch up so I don't have to? Because I'm obviously tired and sick.
Go on, Adrian.
Yeah, go on, Adrian.
Why are you just throwing me under the bus? What is wrong with you? I would like you to Brexit, Curtis. Jesus.
Can't wait, mate. Boris is fucking off at the moment.
I know. I've been watching the Twitch Parliament stream.
Can we
UK Parliament on Twitch?
Can we focus the catch up, Adrian? I'll give. Alright, no, go on, Rocket. I'll give you an inspiration if you do it all.
What? I want the.
I'm just going to give you a very, very brief catch up. It's sea, dragon turtles, funky island, burying treasure, crunchy spice, and more sea.
No, that was garbage. Okay, so we found the dude dead in our basement.
Thank you.
The ship cargo hold.
Yeah,
this is the easiest way to get someone to do something on the internet.
Yeah,
do
well
something
done.
wrong, and they'll immediately correct you.
You just want the inspiration. I haven't had an inspiration since the Colosseum.
He just reverse fucking engineered you into doing this. Yeah, he go on.
So yeah, we found the dude dead in the basement. We were like, fuck it. We have no idea how to solve this. All of us are shit in investigation. So our dear friend, the Atlantean, just, told us he has Zone of Truth, and that was for us problem solved. Let's just spend the day doing other stuff. So we spent the day doing other stuff, came across a dead dragon turtle that was being eaten by undead sharks, which is the only type of shark that is worse than a living shark. We just went past that, found a lonely island, met a Genasi there who's like researching why fire magic is going all wrong. But he hasn't found out anything significant, and he does not want to join an impromptu rebellion against the God King.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand why, but we'll go back there, and maybe, on the way back he is warmed up to the idea. We used the time on the island to, get some fresh food. Then we went back to the boat, did all that Zone of Truth thing, and we found out that the guy we all thought did it. So we then fought him. And, a big fancy boss battle.
Yes.
And then we got loot.
His identity was Grey Janista, one of the Ishadi, who was obviously spying on you. The doppelganger that had manipulated most of you into trying to kill a bunch of criminals on our first and second ever session. You guys pissed off the Ishadi, and Grey Janista was the one sent to assassinate Makrar's wife and children. He failed, and Makrar beat the shit out of him. However, he came back, and you guys found him on the ship, and now have killed him with a lovely hellish rebuke. He burnt to a crisp. Grildar and Xerxil had a little taste. Xerxil more than Grildar, and that's when at the end of the 5th or the 6th day, you guys approached the northwestern point of the Wetway Waters, and you saw Port Arcatil on the horizon, and rowboats were sent out and ropes dragged back, and currently the boat is in the process of being dragged into the harbour with all of the dockmasters heavy labouring the ship towards the dock. So you guys got about maybe an hour before that arrives. But in that point, Grildar remembered something vital about Port Arcatil, that he has an uncle here from the Coalshield side of his family, a man called Gaul Coalshield. Rumour had it was a bit eccentric, a bit crazy, and turned to piracy because he didn't quite like the Empire's rule. So we begin today's session with the sun high in the air. Makrar's children running around the deck causing trouble and interrupting people as they go about their usual work. And one of the deck members sweeping up the remains of Grey Janista over the edge. You see his hand just go, plop. So, in front of you, Port Arcatil. You're being slowly dragged towards it. Is there anything anyone wanted to do before we hit land?
So I guess just kind of discuss amongst the group. Why did he reveal himself this early? Why did he not just wait till we got into the city?
We Zone of Truth, Tim. Makrar. We did this whole thing where, we did the Zone of Truth and we asked him.
I get that bit, but why did he start with the assassination so soon? It'd have been so much easier to hide it amongst the chaos of the city.
Well, what I got from what he said to us is that he just didn't respect us, which I don't understand why anyone would not respect us.
Yeah, I guess I can understand where he's coming from there. He might.
Maybe he just stupid.
So was he? Sorry, what was that?
Maybe he just stupid.
Yeah, You wouldn't think you'd survive so long, would you? But,
Fixer's like,
Oh, Macron, when it comes to worrying about stuff, I think this is one we're just going to have to give up on, and we've got other stuff to worry about, don't you think?
Fixer goes,
Yeah,
but Pa, I liked him. He taught me how to do this. And she like flicks her knife around and goes, ta-ta! I know that he was going to kill us, but Nathaniel was nice.
rather
Well,
planned,
you
though.
never met Nathaniel.
Yeah, I did.
Well, no, Nathaniel was the dude we just killed.
I know. I saw it from the window. I was in George's cabin.
So he wasn't nice.
Oh, well, like, he was nice to me when he was Nathaniel.
Well, yeah, he was lying.
Oh. Mimu goes, Pa, Greldar, Uncle Greldar.
Yes.
I didn't know he was who he was. I didn't get any of the usual things.
You're still growing,
That's
yeah.
all right.
That's why we're going to see the sage, the oracle. That's why she'll make you better at this kind of stuff.
Okay, thank you. And she gives your leg a hug, and then just whistles as she walks around the deck.
I'll tussle her hair. You'll get better. You'll get better. Right then. I can't wait to have a fresh beer. Oh, fresh beer. Get in.
I will take George here and go to the nearest pub and replace the 3 dead crew members.
Okay, give me a second.
I'll come with you. We need to do some recruiting anyway. We need to expand the ship anyway, I reckon.
I think we should, gently let them in on the fact that we're also in a rebellion, but,
Nah, they don't need to know that.
I feel like they kind of do need to know that.
Nah.
I don't want to lie
That's
to
another
them.
thing we need to think about whilst we're on this, whilst we're slowly getting dragged in here. Yeah, it's fair enough that we're going to be saving the kids and everything, and we're doing this sunken city for Chester. But,
yes, you are. Of course, we'll head when we're ready.
yeah, but we've got a full manpower crew here. We need to be able to earn some money on the side as well. Any suggestions how we do that? I guess we've got a pretty big ship here. Maybe trading? Is this ship big enough for trade? I have no idea.
Okay, so George goes, yeah, we've got a big cargo hold and nothing in it. I mean, we can carry up to 500 kilos, really.
Well, we know where we are going. We can just look for a merchant that needs a stuff ship there, right?
Yeah. I guess we do some transportation. Is there like a form of bodyguarding, but like as a ship, like we go with another ship?
Oh, you mean a privateer?
Yeah.
I mean, I've done some privateer work. I mean, it is primarily my job.
Right. There we are then.
Yeah,
George,
but, if we do that privateer thing, isn't that there gonna be a hang up about the fact that we're gonna go treasure diving for a few days?
that's what I'm saying. We'll do the treasure diving first, and then we'll do
Yeah,
the
well-
privateer after.
The point of treasure diving is you tend to share a small amount with the crew while they guard your ship. I mean,
That'll be a way to earn some money as well. Yeah, we'll get some shit when we're doing
I've
that
plundered
as well.
some sunken ship before using a diving bell, and we split it. The whole crew
No,
works.
George. He wants to be the privateer, not hire a privateer.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but that's what George can do though. Like, he can have a word around town now, see if there's any merchants that are moving in like a couple of weeks. That are going from here to roughly where we're going.
Oh,
And
I
then-
see.
We can like sync it up. Then we'll go do the treasure hunting and everything. So then because I
Yeah.
imagine there's not going to be any merchant ships leaving for the next 2 weeks that haven't already got a privateer to accompany them.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Macro. This place, Arcatil, you don't really get much merchants. You get us, outcasts. I mean, they bring in goods and stuff.
There's got to be some trading here. Like, you can't just live off what's on this island. There's got to be stuff coming in or going away.
Oh yeah, of course, it's trade, but it's normally kind of headed up by the Shar.
Ah, right, okay. Well, we can see if we can look after one of their ships. There's definitely something where it's going from here to roughly where we're wanting to go, surely. I don't know, George. That's your job. If not, but that's your job. Try find see if you can find some work like that. We'll go to recruiting fresh blood.
I see. Well, okay, we're approaching. You see that land is now probably about 200 metres out, and the ship's being slowly dragged across like the harbour. There's a breakwater, but it's really old and ruined and moss-ridden, but you've been dragged through it, and currently you see there's about maybe 50 men dragging your ship with huge ropes.
I have no idea what a breakwater is. I'm the most...
It's a big wall that goes around a harbour that prevents stormwater sinking ships.
I was on one of them the other day. Yeah. I didn't know that was what it was called, though.
That's fine.
I also did not know this, and I'm very happy that I know this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't draw it on the map because why would I? But there is one there.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult to draw.
New city, boys. I would say I'm excited. It's mainly for the fresh beer. Where did you say the tavern was here, George?
Yo, the wreck. And he points towards an upside-down brig with a hole in its roof. Maybe half a mile to the northwest. And you can see it because it's got these huge sails protruding from the deck. Not the deck, the hull. And you see at the top there's a flag. And on the flag is a skull and crossbones. Very cliched, but it's there.
Where are we approaching the island from? Are we approaching from the south or
from here?
east?
Yeah, right near
from like
the main harbour. You can see cranes. You can see like a small marketplace with barrels set out. And as your ship is immediately dragged in beside a pier, you can see that they've got the ropes and they're tying them around these big metal poles. And then they're all like rubbing the sweat off of their brow, dampening it with their bandanas, and they all put their thumbs up. And you see a dockmaster with a female approach you guys, and the female goes, "Whoever the captain is and whoever's in charge, get down on the dock now."
Wait, do you want the captain or the people in charge?
Be right there.
All of you.
Guess we'll trudge down then.
Okay, so this human female is lean, tall. She has a pair of short swords at her hip, wears studded leather with a red cloak that covers her shoulders and is slightly up. You can see her raven black short hair, kind of tousled and dishevelled all around, hanging out underneath the hood. Her face is crisscrossed with scars, like deep pink scars. Almost to the point when it forms a massive net across her face, as if like she'd been hit with like a griddle, like a red hot griddle or something. And she immediately just sizes you all up, looks at Macro and goes, "You ain't planning to cause no trouble here, no?"
Don't know, what kind of trouble do you want cause?
Not much. I'm just saying.
No, just here for supplies.
Buried treasure.
Buried treasure. How cliche. She brings out a book and then passes it to the dockmaster, who's a bald man, one eye, and his eye socket is kind of like raw and red. Like he doesn't clean it and he hasn't got an eye patch. But he looks down at the ledger and you see he's got a kind of intelligence behind those deep blue eyes. And then he brings out a quill, dips it into an ink pot that's attached to the tome and says, "Name of your ship, please, if you would, and the captain and the quartermaster."
Shit me. We've only got one of them three things.
Wait, we did, we had this.
Zaxxon got one.
I see.
We can't just tell them that we called it God King Spain, right?
Yeah, we've got to.
You can register my name as the captain. George Wavecleaver is the quartermaster.
Who's the captain? I thought he was the captain.
Yeah, he is the captain. We're kind of his employees, so that's wrong. You registered George Wavecleaver as the captain.
Who's the fuck's the quartermaster? Have we got a quartermaster?
I think we can.
This is when you guys realise
Quartermaster.
something I realised 2 sessions ago, that you don't have a name and you don't have a formal order. And
this is proper just thrown together. We don't know what we're doing.
So he goes, "I need a ship name, please." And she goes, "Yes."
What are you saying?
Fat the God King.
And he looks at you and goes,
Zoxel, refrain yourselves a little bit. If you want, we can call it Crunchy Spice.
Oh, crunchy spice is good. Crunchy spice, super nice.
You can call it Crunchy Spice, name pending.
Yeah, just put Crunchy Spice down for now. Pending decision of something better.
Okay, so he looks at the ledger and he just goes, "The Crunchy Spice. Am I to be correct?"
Yes.
Yes,
Fantastic. And next to you, the female gives a little, the woman gives a little giggle. That's funny. And then he finishes and goes, writes in the captain name, and then writes in, like, do you say your full name, Grilda?
Yeah.
He stops and then looks at you. Ah, this makes a lot of sense. And then he looks towards the woman, and she nods, and he says, whispers something in her ear, and you can't quite hear it unless you want to try and physically listen.
I would try to.
Okay.
Oh.
19?
19. So he goes, Organatius, isn't the Ironbloods the ones that... And she goes, yes. He goes, wouldn't the Shah want to see these people? And she goes, yes, give me a moment. She turns towards you with the arms hold, and he finishes scribbling. And then she says, I am Organatius Liviana Saledkar. I am what you could call a head town guard, a general, a captain, whatever, no official titles. They do call me Aganatius, which is, I guess, a title, but never mind about that. I must insist that you come with me to the Holdfast to meet the Shah.
What for
Shah?
exactly?
Shah? His name is Cicero Arcatil.
What?
That's his name.
Why do we have to meet him?
He would be interested in your presence here in his town.
Very well. Shall we set out now?
She says, fine. Puts her hands on the pommels of her short swords and leads you off towards what looks like a bustling marketplace. There's a lot more people here than it seems from afar. And it's quite a noisy, busy atmosphere. People trading goods. You see that people are haggling. There's a large, kind of crumbled statue of the God King in the town square. Missing its head, kind of got graffiti all over it. Flags and different types of what look like pirate flags draped over the rest of its basin, and everything's been scribbled, carved, hacked. You see bullet marks. And she leads you past to a thick wooden-walled holdfast. Inside is a few lodges, buildings, except there's a main central building with a set of 5 steps that lead up to it. It's held up by stilts. So and underneath that you can see that there's a kind of semi-area for what look like hounds, like kennels. And as you walk up, she opens the doors with a creak. And it leads into a nice, airy, breezy, kind of like a Viking long hall feel to it. You know, one central table with about 20 chairs either side. And you see there are men and women of dubious nature, you know, the kind of ones that look like they would stab you for a gold coin, going about their business, stabbing meats, skewering fruit, and just eating. At the head, there's a large throne made out of what looks like wood, covered in rugs. These opulent kind of crimson and purples and all kinds of lavish rugs. And sitting upon that throne is a tabaxi. He's plump. He's got ears full of earrings, wears a long red robe. He's got a hook for a left hand, and rings adorn the fingers of his others, glittering in the candlelight and the sunlight coming through the sunroof. He looks like an old pirate lord, and as he stands, he kind of hobbles slightly down the stairs, and he goes, "Ah, Liviana, thank you. Oh, I see we have guests. Take a seat." And he points towards the seats at the head of the table so that you can talk to him. And he says, "Yeah." And he takes a seat at the head, and just instead of on his throne, and he says, "Ah, welcome." And then Liviana whispers something into his ears. And he says, his ears twitch slightly. He strokes his fur, which is kind of greyed and mottled around his beard, kind of like a goatee-looking white thing around his muzzle. And he goes,
I'll watch his reaction a little bit more carefully.
It's more of a smile, kind of like a he's happy maybe, or pleased. And he says, "Mr. Ironblood."
Are we all here? Is he
yeah, he's situated you all down.
I'm sat down having. Is it wine all beer?
Mixture. There's these jugs going around, these clay pitchers. And in the clay pitchers, there's this sweet-smelling, thick substance. And he goes, "Do take as much mead as you want."
Go ahead, whatever it says. I'm having it. Right.
Yeah, you begin drinking strong, potent, sugary stuff, and food and platters of meats and fruits and all kinds of stuff are brought along to you. And
Brenda just keeps the pitcher once it hits her place and just replaces that with her glass.
Yeah. Tastes like shit of crunchy spice.
he looks towards you and says, "What an entertaining little thing." And by the way, Chester, I'm going to say, because Todd isn't here, is on the boat helping with stuff, and this social situation would probably go better without him anyway.
No, if I've learned one thing, it would go famously with him here.
Yeah, probably, but
No. He would get what he wants. That's not the same as it going famously.
Okay, fair enough.
Let me introduce myself. I am the Shah here. I am Cicero. You can call me by my first name, Cicero. We went
What's a Shah?
A princeling of sorts. I think in your language... Well, he looks towards Grilda. And Grilda, in Mokhul terms, it's like prince, lord, a guy, someone that owns an area. Really, with your general knowledge that this guy used to be a lord.
Mm-hmm.
He's not recognised by the Mokhul
yeah.
Empire at all, no. So he just kind of says, Gildar, I am sorry to hear of your loss. The news comes through on the ethereal grapevine, so to speak.
Appreciate it.
I have also heard of what happened. I wondered if I'd see you here. I thought one of the other Shahs might claim your ship and your men and throw you out. But no, you've come to me, which is good. I'm less willing...
They would have a good time trying, at least.
I'm less willing to pilfer your stuff, but more willing to help you.
Wise choice, I'd say.
I'm assuming you haven't heard much about what's going on in the capital?
Well, that depends on what you mean.
Ever since you've left, your actual rebellion's fallen quite by the wayside, I must say.
As expected.
If you were expecting to create a big explosion, you did not. In fact, the most that come out of it is that a dwarf, a Atlantean, and a bunch of rebels have killed a guard. That's all that really came out of what you did.
Did not expect much there.
Whereabouts? Where else has happened in the city? It seemed like something else more was happening.
Yes, the city came under attack by Philboan rebels. They made their move, and it turns out the diplomat for the Bretonnians laid the explosives herself, and she's currently being arrested.
So she's been caught then?
Yes, in fact, she made no effort to escape. Word is that her bodyguards left with you.
Well, it might be the case. It's odd that she gave herself over so willingly.
But that brings me to the question, what was so important that Amelia left 2 bodyguards with you instead of guarding her?
Well, that's knowledge that we'd be willing to trade for. What do you have to offer?
My question would be what product or cargo you're carrying that is so important to the God King? And then perhaps...
nothing to do with that, it's just my winning personality.
I feel like that's a lie, and I should be treated with more respect. I know you're a big guy, and you're probably 3 cups down, but I am a Shah, and you will treat me so.
3? Count 6.
I mean, my hospitality knows no bounds to my friends.
I'll just kind of tip my cup to them.
How would I do the talking this time?
Can't we just tell him? Seems like a good guy.
Yes, I am.
How about I do the talking here, shall we?
Gwenda is like 2 pitchers down there.
Yeah, okay.
Mate, I'm just staring at Gwendeth intently now. I just keep gulping and gulping until one of us stops.
I mean, Grildar, your uncle lives here,
I'm aware.
And I'd steer clear if I were you. I mean, he was never well known for liking the Ironblood side of the family.
Yes.
I mean,
so it would seem.
I guess he would benefit from knowing about his brother's death.
Perhaps. We shall deal with that when we get to it. For now, as mentioned, what would it be worth to you to know these reasons?
He flicks his finger up and you see a nice sharp claw come out. He begins cutting the fish in front of him into chunks, skewering it with his own claw, and then put it in his mouth. I would...
Wilda. Zerxil have trade offer. We
Look at
tell
those names.
secret. He helped kill God King.
I don't think that is possible, but I can help you with information and knowledge. My spies are everywhere.
Yes,
It's good. Good trade.
This information to us is quite valuable.
I've given you plenty. If you want to know what else is going on in Mokhul City, I can. I mean, he shrugs and says, would you not want to hear how the Faboan rebellion was put down? What happened afterwards? Who died?
That depends. How deep do your connections go?
Into the government somewhat. Let's just say one of the matriarchs owes me several favours.
Perhaps. I'll need to think on this.
Of course. I mean, you're welcome to stay anywhere in the town.
On a more practical level, what's been happening here on the island? Anything we should watch out for, or can we go about our business relatively undisturbed?
You can go about your business relatively undisturbed. Just don't head outside. My security force keeps the Yuan T at bay, but then if you head out, I can't rightly protect you.
Very well. Anyone here that you know might be interested in a little expedition?
Expedition, you say? Of course. You could probably speak to the Coral Magister or the Tide Seer.
Where would I
Probably
find
the same
them?
guy we want to talk to. But you got any magic men that make scrolls?
The Tide Seer and the Coral Magister at the temple. Oh, holy crap! Todd!
Fairly well.
Oh, wow! Welcome.
Sorry.
Showed up.
No!
I raced home at the earliest opportunity.
Alright, we were in the middle of a chat with a very important person, so
Apologies.
Chester walks through the door at that moment, and Chester, let me explain. A long hall type Viking situation. All of your group of friends are sitting at the end of the table, and there is a very plump tabaxi with rings all over his fingers, hook for a hand, big plump, looks very opulent. And they're currently discussing terms, and he says, oh, I believe your friend's in a wind tunnel.
Sorry, I was just in the middle of fiddling. Have I interrupted something?
No, sit down. I've heard of you, Chester.
Excellent. Most excellent. You took the words right out of my mouth. Or wind tunnel.
Sit down, and you take a seat, and everyone's already drinking and eating, Chester. So he says, look, it's a sign of good faith. I will put in a good word with the Coral Magister and the Tide Seer. They are clerics of Neptune, and always like a good expedition to underwater ruins. That is where you're going, right?
It is.
All of you realise you haven't said that before.
Mhm.
And he says, they'd more likely help with more of a commendation from me. And as a good sign of good faith, I'll tell you what happened in Mokhul City. But there is something
Yes.
I will require of you.
Go on.
Name your terms.
There is a charter of sorts here in Wepway. An alliance between the islands. I mean, you're more than welcome to shop around, so to speak, but this humble Shah would be glad to protect your rights here on the seas. And then at that moment, the Liviana brings forth another tome, puts it down, opens it to a certain page, and you see there's lists and lists of ship names. Sign on to my charter, fly my flag when you do piracy. I take 25% of all cuts. Your protection is under my control.
Section from who exactly?
Well, first things first, other pirates underneath the charter.
Alright, so if we run into your boys, it's kind of like...
Not just my boys or my ladies. I mean the other Shahs. There are 7 islands here. 7 Shahs. They'll love a newborn ship if you just sail out into the open. Trust me.
Does that mean we can't fuck with their ships as well then?
It does indeed mean you cannot fuck with their ships, as you so delicately put it, Makra.
We aren't really pirates, though.
I never said you were pirates. Your involvement would only be between the Shahs and the captains.
So,
Your
it's
fly-
25% when we do piracy. What does that mean? If we attack, what exactly? You get 25%. If we attack another ship.
It is also if you plunder a ship on the usual trade routes between Mokhul and the Million Islands. That tends to be our location of choice.
Right. So it's just 25% of that then.
Yes, it shouldn't be much. I mean, if you also get in a pickle and you can get a message to me, I will send rescue, of course. I look after my own, and when the time comes to regain some of the islands, you'll fight for me, of course.
Oh.
Let me read the terms of the contract.
Okay. Yeah, she looks at him and he says, I wouldn't have expected anything else, Master Grilda. And the contract is brought out to you.
I feel like I'm signing onto another war here after I've already accidentally signed onto a rebellion.
Oh, no, Gwendeth. There hasn't been a war between the Shahs in, 17 years. And it's very highly unlikely that one will break out now. And only those that are in dock at the time are, conscripted, so to speak.
I'll keep my eye on you. This also is very fishy.
As he plucks a chunk of fish from his plate, puts it in his mouth.
Wordplay.
I know, I'm a fan of the arts.
Want to read the contract and see if there's anything...
It's basically as he explained. He hasn't lied. It, however, does say that if you do plunder another pirate ship, that is under the charter, unfairly, all cargo goes back to the Shah in question, plus you are fined 1,500 gold pieces. If you can't pay it, then you work in the mines until you can.
Oh, do we know who's... Because if there's 7 Shahs, how do we know if they got to be flying the flag, and if they're not flying that flag,
that
we
is
can go
this.
fuck with them.
And behind him on the throne, you see that there is a large flag being put up behind the throne, and it's funny enough, the image of a cat claw. All right, and he says, "You'll fly my flag, of course, with your own unique spin, so that you can define the crunchy spice." Is it?
Crunchy spice.
Oh, by the way, Todd, that's the ship name now.
Amazing.
Yeah. Is it satisfactory, Grildar? I mean, I'm also fairly certain that you guys could do with some cargo. Where is your ultimate destination, may I add?
I think we'd prefer to keep that private for now. No offense to you, but...
it's just that you may deliver cargo for me if, you're going to another famous pirate port.
The thing is, your spies may be good, but I'm sure there's others that have good spies as well, and would prefer not to give away this information too freely, you see.
Of course. I wouldn't dare interrupt. So are you signing and joining the charter, or... I mean, it would always do well to have a lord such as yourself alongside me. It adds legitimacy, of course.
I don't chuckle at that.
Yeah. I mean, I would try to employ your uncle, but he is his own dwarf. I'm sure you know about him.
Yes. Calls have always been, interesting, shall we say.
He's got a new project currently. He's building what he calls a submersible ship.
Either way, let us come back to you on this tomorrow. My crew needs a rest. I need some time to think.
Forgo the docking fees for the first week. And he clicks his fingers to his Liviana, and she goes, of course.
Appreciate it.
A ship your size runs 5 gold pieces a week, by the way.
I know.
You're more than welcome to stay for food, but I'm going to go lounge on my more comfortable throne. And he's kind of he's really fat, so he kind of gets out of his seat and has to hobble up the stairs.
Well, stay here if you want. You seem to be enjoying the meet, and I nod to Makra and...
Mark wasn't near enough to sleep at this point.
Griff immediately said, now I'm going to go recruit man.
Yeah, recruiting.
Wave Cleaver, to me!
Wave Cleaver's not there. He was out dealing with the dock and the ship.
I'm gonna go find Wave Cleaver.
Alright. And as you walk back,
Stumbling after you.
walk past the marketplace, people like trying to get you to buy their wares. There's like fresh fruit, fresh like salt. There's like coconuts, melons. There's all types of goods. There's like dwarfs selling like metals, swords, all kinds of armors. But then you walk past, and George is talking to one of the dock workers, and you see that the crew have already departed with their fresh gold piece that Grildar gave them, and they're heading straight towards the wreck.
Okay, like straight to the brothels.
Well, like that's enough to get like 10 drinks. You know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more.
And they have all that gold Gwendeth gave them as well. They're loaded.
Salary in it for like peasants.
Mm-hmm. So he goes, "Yar, well, Gwendeth, how was the meeting with the Shar?"
He wants us to sign this charter thing, and I honestly have no idea what that's supposed to mean.
My old ship was signed to it, of course.
To this one?
Yeah, this is why I brought the ship here. I kind of know the place.
No, you should have been talking to the fat cat then. He'd probably give us preferential treatment.
I didn't really want to show up and say, "Yar, my ship's sunk."
Oh, we should probably... We did sign you on as the captain, so he probably knows that you're on a different ship now.
Yeah, I grew up, put his name down, that's fine. And you see a lot of the dock workers know him. They're like all conversing like, George, they'll pat him on the back and stuff.
George, we need new crew members. The sort that do not die under deck.
At that moment, Gwendeth, a half-elven woman comes walking towards George, and he goes, "Oh, shit." And she walks up to him and says, "George, thank God you're back. Thank the gods. Where is..." And then George kind of like shakes his head. And she goes, "What? No. It was a dragon." And she kind of looks around, looks down and goes, a dragon in Mokhul? You said this would be an easy trip." And he's like, "Sorry, Gwendeth, I'll be with you a second," and takes her to the side. And you overhear him explaining that one of her husband was one of the members of the ship that...
Mm-hmm.
Macro's just kind of like got his hands on his knees, kind of like bent over and just staring wide-eyed at Gwendeth like...
Don't look at me like that, this is like half your fault.
And that's when George comes back and says, "Yeah, that was difficult. Thomas was a good man."
Yeah, again, really sorry about the whole dragon killing all of your men thing.
"You couldn't help it. Dragon's nature and all, right? I mean, I met her. You threw a chair at her. She's a bitch."
She is a bitch. She needs to die. They all need to die. All of the dragons.
"Well, I heard she's the last black one. And,
Yeah, we've been doing a great job until we got to her.
I mean, yeah. We'll get to it at another point, alright? I'm in the need for a drink, Gwendeth."
Oh, that's perfect. We can recruit men while we drink.
Do I smell...
Macro and I have started.
Do I smell mead on you?
Lots.
You started early without me, girl.
Well, there was this fat cat and he gave us all the meat, so yes.
The Shah. Anyway, let's move. And you and him begin walking through the town proper, heading off towards the wreck. The wreck tavern. Okay, so we'll go in order of my Discord.
I'm getting round up a rack.
Xerxil, what are you up to?
Where goes Xerxil?
He just kind of looks around the people.
Yep.
Xerxil will come for a beer. That'll be funny.
You going for a beer, Xerxil?
Okay.
So we got Xerxil, Gwendeth, Macro all going to the tavern, which is great.
It's like the start of a bad joke.
A dwarf, a bugbear, and a little lizard man. Walk into a bar.
Oh man. Okay, so move on over to Grildar. Grildar, what would you be doing?
Just thinking through the options and deciding whether or not this is a good thing for us. Because A, it sounds like a nice deal. Of course, he'll make it sound like that. And B, I don't think I should make a decision before visiting my uncle. So I think I'm actually going to go and see if I can find him after spending like an hour thinking. All
right, you're going to go find your uncle then, yeah?
Yep.
All right, so we'll get to you after that. Chester, sir, what are you up to?
I also will attend the wreck. I have many a story to tell, many a fame to spread.
Alright, so everyone except Grildar is going to the Wreck Tavern. And the Wreck Tavern, as I explained, is this large brig dragged up onto the actual shore, upside down. And as you approach, it's got like thousands of razor-sharp barnacles all over the hull. There's a massive hole in the top with a sail protruding out, big flag above it. The sails are like torn and rotten and flapping in the wind, and a loud amount of cheer is pouring out of the, well, when I say doors, it looks like someone's took a sledgehammer to one part of the hull and then not bothered putting a door in, so you can just walk in. The atmosphere is humid, sticky, smells strongly of spilt ale and vinegary wine.
Spilt ale and fucking rotting barnacles from the sound of.
And as you walk in, it's, I'd say, semi-busy. There's a sound of cheer. There's like a crew in here already. And there is a man behind the bar. Long, oily, kind of like greasy black curls. But a very kind of like handsome looking face. Probably in his mid-20s to late 20s. He's got a peg leg of sorts as he brings loads of, like, it's kind of like curved. Kind of like a swirl as it reaches a silver stopper at the bottom, which taps against the cobbles as he walks across, delivering tankards. And he just stares at you and goes, "Well, come on in. Where do you want to sit?" And he points towards all the different places. He says, "I'd go over there if you get a bit of a breeze." And you see that your crew are coming in behind you, immediately just taking seats, shouting for ale, shouting for meat, for foods.
I'll go to the bartender. I was like, "Right, which sorry fuckers in here are not currently on a crew?"
He goes, "I'm Jack, by the way, and you are?"
Macro. Hi, Jack.
Hi, Jack.
I go to shake his hand and I'm just stumbling all over the shop.
They call me the Wreck Lord around here. It don't really mean much, but, you know, sometimes they do.
Wreck Lord. I like that.
I've ran this establishment since my pa died, so yeah, I know a little bit about the area. If you got any questions, a little tip, a few coppers is all I require.
I'll drop a gold in his hand. I'm like,
well,
right,
he goes, "Holy barnacle shit! Of course. What can I do?"
That's for you. Everyone who's not currently got a crew, get them a drink, put it on a tab, and then send them our way. Yeah.
Yep. So.
I want like a nice lounge area I can sit in.
It's pretty easy. As the hour goes by, more people come in, and you manage to hire 3 more members if you want. And
I'm looking for specifically, if I can, someone who's got some, like who maybe a sailor now, but then grew up as like a hunter or something. Or someone that can prepare animal pelts and skins,
he says,
if possible.
"Give me a second," Jack says, as the GM tries to work his brain wires. And he leaves the tavern and then comes back maybe 5 minutes later, and you see that some of the crews are just helping themselves to the ale barrel and stuff. As he's gone, he comes in, looks at the other crew, and goes, "I know what you did." And they're all like, we'll pay you. And then he brings in an elf, Macro.
Right, who's this fine gentleman?
He bows. The elf himself is kind of quite short for an elf. Maybe about 5'5". Kind of like got a really kind of like small kind of stature. Wears green studded leathers. Has a kind of his moss-coloured cape that's wrapped around the top twice, and then drags, like, kind of flows down his side, hiding his left arm. And in his right arm, you see that he has tattoos all up one arm. He has a pistol on his right hip. Kind of like, you know, kind of cowboy style, kind of like lazily just dragged around his belt so it hangs halfway down at a diagonal motion. And he says, "Hi."
What's your name?
Kaiser.
Hi, Hazer. I'm
Kaiser.
Macro. Hi, Hazer.
Kaiser.
Hi, Hazer. I'm Macro.
He shakes his head.
How are you today?
Well, I'm fine, but I hear you're looking for a hunter.
I am. Does the sea call your name longingly?
Yes, I'm a tide hunter.
Oh.
And then when he shakes his head to the left and right, you see gills in his neck.
Right,
they were hidden because they're like these small slits, and as he moves, he goes, "Don't worry, it's not natural, it's just a spell."
Can you... Oh, fucking hell, I think we need... Gwenda, pay attention. We need them.
Gwyneth was like balls deep in alcohol.
Pay attention, pay attention.
Oh, you found us an elf. We didn't have one yet.
That is, he does fill the criteria for equal employment. Yeah, all look good. Are you good at skinning land-based things like pelts?
I can try.
Fish don't really have pelts.
I can try.
Have you ever killed a dragon?
I've participated in fighting a sea dragon.
Have you ever killed a god king?
No, can't say I have.
He's not good.
Have you ever killed a god king?
I feel like I'm signing on to something I'm not quite ready for.
No, let me talk. They're all idiots. I'm great at this recruiting thing. No, you can't. Well, I guess not. I didn't want to insult you, Zerxel. You're a great guy.
Wait a minute. Are you ordering my drinks?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I throw a gold piece at the barkeeper.
He says, "I'll have the finest shellfish wine," and the goalkeeper goes, 10 gold pieces?
Fuck's sake. I'm having off of it then.
Well, how pretty is this dude?
I'd say about charisma 13 at most.
Charisma doesn't mean how attractive Liam. God.
No, like I said, he is like a kind of small stature. He's built like a swimmer, you know, very kind of lean and small and able to dart through the water. Not like a runner or like he's not athletic.
To be fair, if charisma was attraction, Chester would slay.
Also Zerxel.
Yeah.
Zerxel, yeah.
But Chester doesn't slay, he plays.
He plays.
Are you saying Zerxel doesn't?
He's just slicing the crunchy spice.
You can have that damn wine, but Gwendeth will have half of it.
Okay.
Well, he's having a third of it apparently.
Hey, he joins, and Kaiser says, "What do you need? Like, you're looking for something?"
I need a hunter. None of us can skin something. So, like, we went past a dragon turtle the other day. And apparently, that was no good, like the flesh. But if we come across something like that in the future, I won't be able to have that.
Well, I have experience with aquatic creatures, so I will be able to help you with a dragon turtle.
Do you think you could practice and get really good with land-based ones as well?
I could, of course, but I'm gonna point out that going near a dragon turtle is sure to spell disaster for you all.
Well, that one was already dead. It was a dead dragon turtle.
Yeah, I heard you the first time, but I'm saying
There are currently no plans to hunt a dragon turtle.
Yeah, that was just kind of the dead one. Kind of just triggered that in my head, though.
Okay. Well, let me tell you one thing. My fees are depending on the acts I perform on ship. I will require 25 gold pieces a month, but anything bigger, if I have to fight anything bigger, such as a sea dragon, I will charge you appropriately at the end of our journey, or take a small percentage of the treasure involved.
Yeah, that's perfectly cool. But 25 gold a month, Jesus Christ.
Ah, perhaps you are using the wrong negotiator. You will do it for 18, good sir.
Alright, make a persuasion check.
That I will. Charisma 13. Hang on, this is the first time I'm loading up my character sheet, and it's slug-ish.
It's okay, Chester, we'll wait for you.
Like we always...
We just fucking tagged in Chester. Just
Holy shit!
You'll do it for free, huh?
And you'll enjoy it.
Wait, are
You
you
do it for
the...
fame and to increase your portfolio. You get exposure.
Are you the one they call Chester?
That I am, good sir. That I am.
I don't like Bretonians, no. You actually got 15, not 30.
Oh,
Ooh.
Well, that was that was harsh.
that was anticlimactic.
No, I'm afraid so.
Zerxel will offer job for 25.
Anticlimactic or anticlimactic?
Why don't we say less on the monthlies, but then a higher proportion if you do something bigger? Because look at us, we're not really... Small scale isn't really in a vocabulary.
I don't just bring the abilities to skin and make pelts. You know that, right? I mean, I also have spell casting. I can cast water breathing.
Yeah, we cannot need that water-breathing macro unit
that'd
for
be
the
quite
whole...
easy. Well, when them skills come up, we'll surely pay you for them because obviously we
No, the
want
25 gold pieces are part of the deal.
I mean, we paid 10 for the wine macro. I think we can just have him for a month and then see if, it gets us anything.
fair dues. 25. We'll see. To make it worthwhile, we'll do 30 gold, but it's only a 30-day contract to begin with. See if
Wow,
And-
so talented. Huh.
And you're gonna bring me back to port within 30 days.
Yeah. Like I say, contracts, and the contract will start and end here.
If you don't bring me back within 30 days, the contract rolls over to the next month, and I can quit whenever we reach the next port.
Yeah. 30-day rolling contracts.
Deal.
Sound.
Anyway, I'd like the 30 gold pieces right now, if that's okay with you.
Wait, it's sort of like we just met you in a bar, and you might just run off with the gold. So you get the gold once we board the ship.
I agree. This is a shifty proposition.
We're drunk. We're not dumb.
He is 15, so you can get some shit ready for the trip.
Okay, he's drunk and dumb.
Look,
money.
do you want my services? Because if not, I will continue hunting you on tea like I was.
You've got to admit it's a bit suspicious if we just give you 30 gold now. Like, we've got nothing to say that you're actually going to come with us. You could just disappear in that time.
There's a silence across the table, and he just goes, he just stares you, and you just stare at his green eyes for a second, and he says, "You have my honor, and that means everything to me."
Fucking honor, what a load of bollocks, right? I can't.
What did you say?
I said, this is bollocks, but there you go.
What's bollocks is I'm gonna have to spend time on a ship with some Britannians.
There's only one.
We don't do racism on our ship.
Look at him.
We are very inclusive employers.
Look, he just looks at Chess and goes, "Look at him. I bet he's got gunpowder everywhere. Just blowing up nature, cutting down everything. Has no clue what his people are doing to the world."
Oh, you're one of those, I see. A no-good vegetable humper. Huh.
Your industrial civilization is ruining the seas.
Oh, go cry over a dead fish.
Well,
As I say over here,
Well, I plan to. I can speak to them. I know their feelings.
I'm going to draw a line on the ship. If you cross it over to my side, and there will be sides, there will be swords running, good sir.
We just paid this fucker 30 gold. There won't be shit all running.
We literally just killed Nathaniel yesterday, and you already have a new arch enemy.
Yeah, just what an arch enemy a month quota from now on. One a month.
Gentlemen,
That's it. Do
I
it
say this
aloud.
for free. You may do this, but it'll be a terrible mistake. He'll spend more time crying over broccoli than he shall in your services. I know these types.
I couldn't give a shit as long as he can skin a deer for me.
I've seen
You'll
the
be too
cargo
busy.
hold. We don't have broccoli.
Making signs for rallies.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you right here, Chester. I eat meat. You keep calling me a vegetable humper.
Perhaps I mislaid you. Put it this way: I'm more likely to see you at some form of those free festivals, off your face on some form of illicit substance.
Mushrooms.
Of course.
Would you like some? I actually have some in my cloak.
Just gonna give him a look of pure disgust. You're the reason.
I grind mushrooms in cloak.
I don't grow them in my cloak. I harvested them this morning.
Doesn't seem sensible.
Would you like one?
Go ahead, we finished hiring for the day.
Well, we wanted 3 people, and this dude is 1 people.
Yeah, I did say you get easy crew members.
We've finished hiring for the day, yeah.
Alright, so he stays with you, and we'll...
This evening's about to take a weird turn, and I'll stick my hand out for some mushrooms.
Yep. Are you actually going to take some mushrooms?
Oh yeah, I'm dishing, so I go ahead and suffering through me.
Yeah, he gets them out, and when he sees you go to reach them, he says, "Look here, you barbarian. I will make a tea. We will not just ingest them like some sort of common druggie in the streets." And he does painstakingly make a fine tea, continuously straining, continuously looking at it.
While they are making that tea now, Gwyneth has just taken control of the bottle of wine she paid for. Since they're obviously busy with other stuff, it's just started
She's down in the Alvin wine.
Okie dokie, yep.
and then, returned to the crew and then just shouted, "Let's sing songs for the deceased!"
Alright, and yeah, that shanties begin being sung all over the tavern at that moment.
What's the rituals on that then? If you come back with dead crew members, is there like a vigil?
Okay, so people would tell you, so you wouldn't know that. Basically, there is a funeral held under their rites, depending on if they have specified what kind of god they worship. And normally they're fed to Neptune, which is wrapped up. We don't keep rotten bodies on a ship. So they're not, unless you've got a gentle repose spell and they're important, they are given their rights and they are fed to Neptune. Just slid off the edge of the ship.
So there's nothing special for them when you get back home. It's just
it depends if they've got family members. The actual family members get their cut. If they never specified a family member, then the cut goes to the rest. Just goes back into the pot, so to speak.
Shit. So there's no cut for all them fucking families who've got dead soldiers on that ship that's sunk. Macro thinks this through and feels a bit guilty. Do we know any other family members?
Well, George would know. He, put all their stuff down.
George, how many family members? How many members died on your ship?
74.
Okay then. I'll count out 74 gold. Is that going to be enough without it seeming?
Yeah,
They're lucky to get anything.
I'm going to be honest with you again, as I always am. Not a lot of the men that I had were from here. I sailed out from Atlantia.
Oh, right, okay.
So, no.
There was that elf earlier, though.
Yeah, there was that elf. But there was a few people from Akatil, not 70 of them.
Right, okay. Keep it in mind then, whenever we were in places with family, and then...
Yeah, of course.
Is a gold insulting, or are you going to be happy to have anything?
A gold is more than they earned. I believe most of their wages only came to a few silver coins, but...
Alright, gold's good then, yeah. How many families are there here?
I don't know. My ledgers are gone.
Yeah. From memory.
I don't really have a good memory.
Let's get you really drunk, and if you're really drunk, maybe you'll remember.
Maybe I will. Yar, let's get to it.
I'll just give him 25 gold for now and just be like, if you bump into any of them, give them this.
You can just fill out on your bingo card reasons why Gwyneth and Macra never have money.
Alright, so
we have souls.
Does anyone else want to do anything to tavern, or can I move over to Grilda?
I'm good.
Right.
No, I'm done. I've acquired my fishy hunter boy.
Okay, so Grilda.
Mm-hmm.
After the hour of thinking, you head over to what you know as currently the Coal Shield Smithy.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually quite far away, but you have to go past the Wreck Tavern, following the road northwest, and basically walk off a little bit of the beaten path, through a little area of palm trees and people relaxing, and you approach this area up here.
You're pointing at something, but I'm not seeing anything on the map.
I'm pinning.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, now I see it.
Yep, and it looks like a large, very kind of well, the only way to explain it is dwarvish building. Very blocky, very, no fanciness to it, yeah. And you can see steam and smoke, rising out of the chimneys, the multiple chimneys. And as you walk up these switchback stairs, which go up the cliff face for a while, you are passing what look like apprentices.
Mm-hmm.
And you reach the big doors and some marble flooring, and inside you can hear a very, very welcome sound. It reminds you of your sister. And you just hear ding, 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 and people hammering on anvils, people going at making everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you walk to your left, there are about 8 forges and smelteries, to your right and left. And at the far end, you see there is one man on top of a dais, and there's a huge ass, what look like bell, probably about 8 foot tall, and the base has got a diameter of probably about 9 to 10 feet. And him and what looked like another dwarf, both of them border, hammering away, and you can see your uncle hammering away on one of these. On one of these bells. He's got a large sort of white beard which drips and then turns kind of falls from his chin and then plats only to a small plait at the end. His hair, or what remains of it, is wiry crap that just kind of sticks out in different directions as if he's been electric shocked several times.
Right.
And his partner is another dwarf which has a completely bald head, a bit more on the appearance side than him. Looks after he's got kind of like a fine kind of robe, black robe with a gold girdle, He's ripped the sleeves off, showing his tattooed, muscular arms. But he's older and rare for a dwarf. Only has a short beard, kind of neatly trimmed, manicured to a point. And they're both kind of like beating at the sides of this bronze hammer. And as you walk, what do? You can see this.
Uncle. It's been some time.
There's a stop. Like, he's just about to hit the bronze bell and he goes, takes the goggles, throws them to the ground and just turns, like, just snaps towards you like an eagle looking at its prey. And as he looks at you, you can see he's got these wide, like, pupils are massive. And he blinks. There's a big grin, showing his missing teeth. Well, if it ain't my nephew! And he just steps off the dais. He goes, how long's it been, little Iron Blood? And he looks you up and down. You are an Iron Blood. You got the
Too
look.
long, perhaps.
You got the look of your mother. He goes, I remember when you were a wee nipper. And he kind of walks up and embraces you. Just gives you a hug.
Yeah, I'll do the forearm clasp and hug him. And say, well, family's family, isn't it?
Indeed. And he introduces his partner. And he goes, this is my husband. And Lane brings down the dwarf and goes, this is Lane. And the guy nods towards you and goes to shake your hand. Gives you kind of a warrior's handshake. And they both fold their arms. He goes, what are you doing here?
Well, that's a bit of a story. What have you heard? I can explain it all, but
I heard there was
for that one.
I heard there was a bit of rebellion going on in Mokhul City. Not that I don't blame the people. The God King's a cunt.
Pretty much.
I see you changed your mind. What happened to the military dwarf that I knew? And he pats his hand on your shoulder. I like the new you. You may look miserable, but you tell you what, looks like you got balls. You've seen shit.
I'll give him the 5-minute rundown of the army dismissal, the assassination, the follow-up rebellion that we caused, and then
old Antfer. He's hit the ground then.
That he has. Well, never mind, eh? We'll have to go some point.
He shakes
What
his
you
head.
working on?
He turns and goes, it's a sort of a diving bell. Take us deeper than we've ever been before. Wait a minute. And he grabs your hand, turns your hands around, your tattoos from the runes. He goes, how'd you find them?
Well, wouldn't you like to know?
How'd you find the Ironblood runes?
Happened to, chance mostly. Tell you the truth.
It was your grandfather that mapped that shit.
Realised that when we accidentally stepped into his tomb.
You know what? The God King, when he took control, he took all of that shit away from us.
Yeah, I never knew it was there. So close.
None of us did. Well, that's a pleasant surprise. You know those runes, and he points towards your arm. He goes, they appear everywhere. I mean, I come across some in my youth. He goes, I've wasted them. I mean, I got a load of spells that help me breathe underwater, and you wouldn't believe how well that comes in handy when you're out to sea.
Yeah, I believe that one. We were actually meant to talk to you about that. We're going on a bit of an expedition at some point soon, and
Oh, where you going?
well, probably somewhere where we could really use that and look at the ship that he's building, the submersible he's building.
But it depends where you're going. This is not for real deep diving. I mean, it's 50 to 100 yards at most. And even then, we have to do it slowly so your head don't blow up at your arsehole. And you see that his partner chuckles at that. And then just goes, I'm going to get back to work. And then puts a friendly hand on his shoulder and begins to get back to work up on the dais. It's a pleasure to meet you, Gulda.
Likewise. Well, we're heading to just somewhere a little bit deeper than that. And I'll give him the rundown of us heading down.
He kind of, as you're beginning to speak, he narrows his gaze becomes narrow towards you, and he goes, you know that place you're talking about? It's quite popular for explorers. We get one every few years. like group of people that come round.
What are the general results from doing so?
Well, they never return. So there's your
That's what I
results.
figured.
A rumor has
Well-
it it's haunted. It's like an ancient kind of pre-Ragnarok civilization down there.
Be a nice change, an honest fight.
Well, if you think you can do it, I believe in you.
I think we should give it a try.